Now I call on Dr. Parveen, who is going to speak to us about the problems of the Rohingya Muslims.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. His Excellency Dr. Nasif, President of World Muslim Congress, His Excellency Raja Zafrul Haq, Secretary General of the World Muslim Congress, Dr. Tanveer Zaman, distinguished guests, speakers, my small numbers of sisters, and my native brothers, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Parveen, a pediatric consultant, Secretary of the European Rohingya Council Advocacy Group. Today I will highlight about the ongoing 60 years ongoing of ethnic cleansing against Rohingya Muslims. Before I start my presentation, I would like to tell you how we are known inside Burma and outside Burma. Inside Burma, we are known as Klar. That means we are black. It is equivalent to nigger. Illegal Bengalis, virus, demons, ogres. Outside Burma, we are known as most persecuted ethnic minorities of the world. By the Asian countries, old people, by others, friendless, stateless, and of course by the Bangladeshi government as Burmese. But actually, who are we? Rohingyas are the indigenous race borderland people, 1.3 million, making 3rd% of Burma's population. You can see with this picture how they are treated. Under the military junta, we are persecuted, we are not wanted, dead or alive. They want to wipe us out from our own homeland, from Burma. This is another picture. The president of Burma, Thein Sein, is trying to wipe us out using all the armed forces or all types of forces to wipe us out and throw us out of the country, pushing to everywhere but not welcomed in our own homeland. The long persecuted ethnicity is on the verge of mass annihilation, new evidence indicating government complicity. Now in brief detail, study by the International State Crime Initiative at the Queen's Mary, University of London say Rohingya face final stages of genocide. They have used the genocide framework of Daniel Feuerstein, stigmatization and dehumanization, harassment, violence and terror, isolation and segregation, systemic weakening, mass annihilation, and finally symbolic enhancement involving the removal of the victim group from the collective history. They have been and continue to be stigmatized, dehumanized, discriminated against. Genocidal process have been conducted at the highest levels of state and local Rakhine government. As I have mentioned earlier, that there were elements of genocide have been found against Rohingyas. So let me tell you take you to the past and tell you the major ethnic cleansings operations happened on Rohingyas. In 1965, that was the tragedy where we started. Rohingya language program was cancelled. 1967 to 68, Nazinga operation happened. 1978, Dragon King operation, where the Rohingya targeted and massacred 250,000 Rohingya fled to Bangladesh. Then in 1982, citizenship law. What is citizenship law? Only these ethnic groups, only those ethnic groups that were already in Burma since 1823 qualify as natural races. After the citizenship law of Myanmar ignored the Rohingyas' claim for citizenship in 1982. They were rendered stateless. In 1991, Operation Clean Nation. 1994, stopped issuing birth certificates. Then in 2005, two-child policy for Rohingya. 2012, new start of the ongoing ethnic cleansing. Two waves of violence erupted between the Rohingya and the Rakhine in Arakan, devastating both communities, resulting in mass killing and torture. 140,000 Rohingya displaced who now live in IDP camps in the Sitwe township. 2014, you can notice that the exclusion of Rohingya from the nationwide census. 2015, banning Rohingya from standing in the November 2015 elections. This is a picture which was taken after the 2012 in their own motherland. You can see in the first picture that the lady is living in a very uncomfortable place with plastics. In these houses in IDP in Sitwe, there are 4 to 5 families live in this situation in the same amount of place. And on the other hand, there's a one boy who has to live because he has been orphaned. The Burmese government did everything for decades for Rohingya not to prosper, so that we can be killed easily and there will be no existence of our ethnicity. Why Rohingya are being prosecuted? It's as simple as it is, because we believe, or our faith is Islam. Rohingya community follow only religion Islam. Government promoting Islamophobia and hate speech nationwide. Promotion of Mabata, protection of promotion of race and religion. They signed race and religion protection laws targeting mainly the Rohingya Muslims population. Monogamy law, religious conversion law, interfaith marriage law, population control law. The second reason it is because we Rohingya look different. We are a little bit darker with physical and facial features. And of course, most of our Rohingyas are living in Arakan, and it is near to the borderline, and our language is a bit of similar to Bengali. In this picture, you can see how our neighboring countries are treating us. Especially, the country Bangladesh is not there, but so far we have not seen any positive stance in this platform of saving us from the genocide. Unfortunately, Rohingya cannot escape atrocities even outside Burma. Pushed back to sea with little water and food in rickety boats. Mass graves found on side of Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Rohingya. Rohingya fleeing persecution are kept as captivities and have to pay huge amounts to the human traffickers. Rohingya women raped and are sold as sex slaves. Even young minor Rohingya girls are not spared. Refugee camps in Bangladesh, government controls AIDS. Reaching the Rohingya, rape is also not common. Lack of education for Rohingya children everywhere. So what is going on in the world against genocide of Rohingyas? Resolutions 67/233. The United Nations National Assembly adopted resolution 67/233 to focus attention on the international humanitarian law that has also been violated through extrajudicial killings, failure to adequately protect civilian life, and the use of forced labor. Second resolution, AHRC 29/30, proposed by OIC on the human rights situation of Rohingya Muslims and other minorities in Myanmar. It was adopted by consensus at the UNHCRC in Geneva. Human Rights Council condemned the gross violations of human rights committed against the Rohingya Muslims. Did Rohingya profit from all these resolutions which are made in every conferences or congresses? Of course, so far, no. Will the prosecution of Rohingya and after the power shift to the National League of Democracy, the Aung San Suu Kyi, which leads the group? Of course, no. Because military power will never be compromised. The Constitution allows the military 25% of seats in Parliament, giving them an effective veto over all Constitution amendments. The military will still remain controlled over key bureaucracies, including home affairs, border affairs, and defense. Second reason, Muslim candidates were not chosen as MPs by the NLD, and the plight of the Rohingya in the Western Rakhine state has been totally absent from the campaigns of all parties involved. Second thing, our Nobel Prize winner, Aung San Suu Kyi, she was kept silent for a long time. She said, Myanmar should handle the issue very, very carefully. Myanmar is a country that is 90% Buddhist, and expressing any support to the Rohingya refugee could prove to the political societal for the National League for Democracy. After the election, she said, Rohingya problem is not the only problem. She has rejected clear evidence of multiple violations of international law against the Rohingya as exaggeration. So, what we are told, again, wait and watch. So, we have to wait that in 2016 April, the military regime will hand over to the NLD, to Aung San Suu Kyi party, and then they will say, wait again, because we need to adopt, and we need to adopt that must be, we need to see and think. So how many years we will wait and see? Why Rohingya plight is not being solved? Because nobody feels responsible for us because of our religious background. Not only the international community has failed to protect us from our own brothers and sisters of the same faith and has abandoned us in our lives and dire situations. So I ask all of you, especially who are not standing for the Rohingyas, especially who are doing less for the humanity and for the Rohingyas, where were you when our children were made orphans? Where were you when our children were tortured? Where were you when everyone rejected us? Where were you when we were kept as slaves? Where were you when the mass graves were found in Malaysia, in Thailand? Where were you when we were pushed back to sea and were made to float for months? Where were you when we were still kept in concentration camps? Where were you when we were blocked from medical treatment and our children are dying because of no health care and no access to the health care, primary health care? This is a situation that you can see. Since 2012, more than 140 Rohingyas has been displaced. Over 50,000 not allowed to farm and fish. 3,000 are and more in downtown Situate camp living in open jail. 25,000 fled to other countries, especially in 2015 alone. What should be done and can be done? Change the 1982 citizenship law. Conditions any agreements. The Burmese government should increase humanitarian assistance to Rohingya, protecting Rohingya voting rights, and ensuring that those responsible for any Rohingya and anti-Muslim violence should be held accountable. Articulate and credible set for consequences if the government of Burma does not adhere to the benchmarks listed above. Privately, support local civil society and interfaith leaders. Be prepared to introduce a new UN sanctions. Open access to Rohingya community. The world has already witnessed enough destruction of our people through a textbook case of genocide. With our rough estimate from 2.4 million a few years ago, today we are reduced to only 1.3 million. We Rohingya, a nation of peace, believe in harmony, love, against aggressiveness, against terrorism. We are asking you people, how many of us should die more that you stand for our people and do something to save us? Before I close my presentation, I would like to thank the historian of two holy mosques, King Salman Saud Al Abdulaziz, I hope I'm correct in saying, and for letting me to come to Saudi Arabia and to speak about our people. And I would like to thank also His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Umar Nasir and his team from the World Muslim Congress, Dr. Tanveer Zaman and our Rohingya brother Hafizur Rahman for the enormous relief contribution for the Rohingyas, and I hope you will continue to do it because my people are hoping in you people because we share the same religion, and above all, we all have to stand for the mankind and the humanity. I would also like to advise the World Muslim Congress if they can have a special section or department promoting and helping the Rohingyas. Assalamu alaikum, jazakallah khair.